So, thank you for meeting with me today.
Thank you.
All right, so just to start, what are some things that you think went well with your lesson today?
Today,
Mm-hmm.
I have a good beginning, but
Yes.
so to get their attention immediately.
Absolutely. That's what I have written down. So, the hook of your lesson was super engaging. It got their attention. They wanted to learn more about
What it is.
what you were learning. How did that feel?
A day
How did it feel for you?
for me, I
Mhm.
think it's I can the beginning
Mhm.
goes well, then I can go the next part very quickly.
Mhm.
I feel good.
Yeah, you got their attention, you were
Yeah.
ready to go. Good. The second thing that you did really, really well was that your expectations for what you wanted students to do throughout the lesson were very clear. So students were on task and focused throughout the lesson. So good job.
Thank you.
You did it. Okay. So what do you think the purpose of prompting or questioning during your lesson is?
I think I have too many questions.
Too many questions. Why do we ask questions, or why do we prompt students during a lesson? What's the point of doing that?
I found that they cannot answer follow me, so the silence make me feel nervous.
Okay.
So I want to give them more support or hint, and it turns out that I speak too much.
Perfect. That's actually what we're going to talk about today, is ways to increase student thinking and student heavy lifting instead of you doing all of the hard work. Okay? So the purpose of prompting or questioning students during the lesson is so that we can push them to get the right answer, we can provide support, but also to deepen their understanding. Okay? So let's think back to your lesson today, and I don't know all of the names of your students, but I think your student Henry, was Henry the one I was talking a lot
The little
most?
boy?
Yeah. So you asked Henry a question, and you said, what words do you think will be in the story? And Henry said, dangerous. Do you remember what happened
Yeah.
after that? What did you say after that?
Why do you think it's dangerous? Right? I don't know. I can't remember.
You do not remember? So that would be a good prompt to use. What you said. So Henry said, what words do you think will be in the story? And Henry said dangerous. And you said, yes, dangerous because the room is so small. He might get hurt.
Oh yeah.
Right. So when you do that, who's doing all of the heavy lifting?
I think I should let the students to say this.
Yeah. So when you say that, like, I know that you know why a capsule hotel might be dangerous. I know that you know why that might be dangerous. But what we need to know is, does Henry know why that might be dangerous? So instead of you saying, yes, it's dangerous because it's so small you could get hurt, what could... Okay, so good. So we're going to think about our prompts. So our prompts could be, why do you think...
it's dangerous.
Why do you think it is dangerous? Why do you think it is dangerous? What other prompt could you use to extend his thinking?
In this part? About dangerous?
About dangerous, or even, let's think even broader about other questions where you might feel like you want to jump in. So what's another question that you asked in your lesson today, or that you often ask?
You mean in this class?
Yeah.
What prompt questions I may ask?
So let's think about, so in this specific question you said, instead of saying, why do you think it's dangerous? So a student answered the question, and then you explained why that answer is correct. So let's think about another question that you could ask. So you could ask, how is the character feeling? Okay. And the student says sad. And then you might say, yes, we can tell that they're feeling sad because of this. What could you say instead to have the students give you the answer that you want? So what other prompts could we use? So we have, why do you think it's dangerous? Or we could make that even more generic to, why do you think that? So you could use that more consistently.
Yeah, why do you think that?
Why do you think that? What other prompts do you think we could come up with?
How do you know?
How do you know?
Can you give me some evidence?
So, yeah. silence, or we could say, what in the text makes you think that?
Yeah. What the details make you think that?
What in the text? Okay. Great. So then when we do that, we're pushing Henry or whatever student to do the heavy lifting. Why do you think that's important?
What is important?
Why is it important that Henry is answering the questions rather than you answering the questions?
Make them think.
Yeah.
And interaction in the classroom.
Yeah. Have them do more of the thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And speak more.
Speak more, yeah. Because what is our goal for these students by the end of the year?
Use English better.
Yeah.
Well, much
use-
better.
To speak more fluently and
Yeah,
have better
yeah.
English. Great. Okay, so let's actually practice that. You'll be Miss Emma and I'll be Henry. And let's use some different prompts so you can pull out some more answers from me.
Mhm.
Okay, so pretend that, be yourself, and I'm Henry now.
So Henry, which word do you choose?
I think convenient.
Why do you think it is convenient? Can you tell me more details?
I think it's convenient because he can use a capsule hotel right when he gets off the train. The capsule hotel is right there.
That's great.
Okay, so how did that feel?
Feel good.
Yeah, and then, so who's doing the work now?
Student.
The student is doing the work, great. So let's go ahead and look at your lesson for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I didn't finish my lesson today.
okay,
I just stopped here.
okay.
You know what I have done
Mhm.
today?
Okay.
Listen and catch your adjectives.
Uh-huh.
Finish the task on the book. Highlight the descriptive part, and then after you left, we
Mhm. Some
ma-
mind
mind
mapping.
mapping the aspects of describing a place.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the next part is describing the layout. That's
Layout
on the book. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the book.
So while we're thinking about that,
Here.
So let's specifically think through what kind of prompts you can use with this picture to extend student thinking. So let's actually write out what questions you're going to ask them and what prompts you could use to get the answer that you want.
Mm.
So when we're looking at this,
Mm.
what is your goal? Like, what would the ideal response be? Or what do you want them to be able to say about this?
Do you use the adjectives we learned the past few days,
Okay.
and they better use the structure, the grammar.
Okay, so you want them to use this structure, sentence structure with
Sentence
the
structure.
adjectives.
Yeah, with the adjectives.
Okay.
Actually, this is the first step. The second step, I want them to describe their own apartment
Okay.
and compare these two.
Okay. So, how are you going to explain this activity to them? What are your instructions going to be?
Here, I imagine this is your room you are living,
Mm-hmm.
and now you need to describe this apartment to your friend. Write a letter like this. Write
Okay.
a letter to your friend to describe this apartment, and then you want to move. You want to rent a new one because
Okay.
it's not enough for your life.
Okay.
So start to write at least 5 sentences to describe this.
How do they know that they need to use the adjectives? So what could you say in the instructions so they know to use those
Here,
adjectives?
because we discussed about the mind map.
Okay.
The first one, generation description. Is it safe or dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
What's the size of the room? And
Okay.
location. Is
Mhm.
it convenient or
Gotcha.
inconvenient?
Okay, so you guys did that on my map, so then when you're giving your instructions for this,
Mhm.
that could look like, okay, I want you to write a letter to your friend describing this apartment using the adjectives that we've talked about all week,
Mhm.
just so they know to incorporate that, so
Mhm.
you know you've touched on that. Okay, so let's say you're reading through them and, I don't know, Kala writes it, and he writes, okay, my apartment is small, I have a bedroom, I have a kitchen, I have a living room.
Yeah.
What questions could you use to pull out to extend his thinking?
To describe this room.
Yeah, to get the goal that you want. So rather than saying, okay, that's not enough details, what prompts could you use to pull out the answers that you want?
Here, how many rooms are there?
How many rooms
Can
are
you
there?
say,
Okay.
right? And which room do you like better? Why?
Okay.
They may say I like the living room because there's a closet. I like the living room because it's bright. There are 3 windows.
Okay.
I don't like the kitchen and the bathroom because there's no windows.
Mm-hmm.
There are no windows.
Okay. So that's what you want them to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to think through like some. So if you look through the writing and you see that your students don't have enough details, let's think through some generic prompts that you could use and practice using so it becomes second nature, that you're constantly pushing them to think more. So we already put in, oh, I typed it up. So how do you know that? How do you know that?
How do you know?
Or what makes you think that? So these are the prompts that we've already written down.
Yeah.
What makes you think that? Another prompt that you could use that would push them. So tell me more.
Tell me more.
Tell me
Details.
more. And then you're not doing any of the work there, but you are providing the right prompts to pull out the learning that you want. So tell me more. Do you have your lesson for tomorrow? Or your next lesson beyond this one?
I'll continue to discuss this one.